What up, book dwellers? So you can probably tell from the title, today I'm going to be talking about Circe by Madeline Miller, which I read last month, roughly, but I wanted to talk about it, especially because I went and actually met Madeline Miller recently, so, yeah, I wanted to talk about that experience and about how I felt about the book in general. But I also feel like I should address the elephant in the room, which is that I'm in a different room, and Colleen is not here. Colleen and I were college roommates, and we, recently moved out for the summer. Colleen is actually out of the state for an internship right now, and I am home for the summer. And I actually graduated. I graduated in 3 years rather than 4. So Colleen will be going back to undergrad next year, and I will be moving on to graduate school. So we will be in different locations, but we will keep in touch and hopefully be able to make some videos together in the future. But in the meantime, we will also hopefully be making some videos separately. So stay tuned for that. But back to Circe by Madeline Miller. This book is fabulous. It is the story of Circe, who is the goddess of witchcraft, kind of. She's a witch, and she's also a goddess. She's the she's the daughter of the Titan Helios, and she is exiled to an island. I believe it's pronounced Aiaya. I think that's how Madeline Miller pronounced it. Due to her witchcraft, she's actually exiled to this island. And this book kind of follows her as we progress through her life, and people visit the island, she leaves the island, things like that. So, like I said, I did meet Madeline Miller a couple days ago, and first of all, sweetest woman ever. Oh my goodness, I loved meeting her. She signed my book, as you can see, and she talked a lot about it, so I do actually have some extra content, I guess, to add, and some extra thought that I've given it since she's, added, some ideas to my understanding of it. So, first of all, I'm just gonna, talk about it in a non-spoilery sense. The writing of her books is always fabulous. I always love how she writes her books. And, she just has a really rich and beautiful language about it. She really talks about the characters in a rich and meaningful and beautiful way, to the point where you really, get to know their deep and inner thoughts, but not necessarily because they told you, but she just is so good at showing you that, through their actions, through how they think, things like that. And I think that's really cool. For anyone who doesn't know, she did write Song of Achilles, and that's a fabulous book. Oh my gosh, it's like one of my favorite books ever. So I did pick this one up because I had read that one, and I'm so glad I did. All of her books, follow Greek mythology, but because she's a classic scholar and because she's a former English teacher, she really knows what she's doing, and it's really cool. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say about it. Non-spoilery, it's a really beautiful story. I really hope you pick it up. This is, a weird thing to say because this does not go with Song of Achilles, but I kind of, recommend picking up Song of Achilles first, because there are elements that, go into Circe that I think you would understand more if you read Song of Achilles first. So there's that. But moving into a more spoilery section, by people who have not read this, please read it first. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Okay, so I at first did not like this as much as Song of Achilles. I did not have as much of a connection to the characters. I didn't feel as much about it. And then I went and saw Madeline Miller, and I was like, oh, I get what I was supposed to be feeling from this. I understand. And now I feel it so much more. Because it's just so interesting, how we progress through Circe's life, and all the different things that happen to her and how she handles them and deals with them, and how if you look back after reading it and think through and you're like, wow, she changed so much in a natural human way, and that's like so cool. And that's one thing that we talked about a lot at the reading and Q&A and stuff. And I love that so much. And Madeline Miller was saying that she literally went, you know, through the first 50 pages, I think, for 5 years, because she was trying to get the sibling relationships right. Which, you know, again, I'm saying, like, if you go back and you think about the sibling relationships, like, and the way that those progress and the way that those change how Circe feels about herself and feels about the world, and, you know, how she lives her life, it's like, that is like half of what, you know, goes into who she is. And so that 50 pages was so important. And I thought that was just so interesting how she was like, I changed it so many times just so I could get it exactly how it needed to be. She was also talking a lot about, you know, obviously, like, how mythology went into, you know, how much of it is mythology and how much of it is her own. And that I thought was really interesting too. Is she, you know, she's like, I added Hermes because I thought that, like, how would he know what to tell Odysseus, you know, about how to protect himself from her spells and stuff, you know, like, because that's part of the original myths. But how would he know that if he hadn't had an affair with her? Yeah, I just really came to love the character a lot more, I think, from hearing her talk about her and hearing her talk about what she did with it. But I loved that too. And one thing that someone said at this reading was, that's slash signing, I just keep calling it a reading, but you know, she was like, I feel like you told this book in a series of like her great loves. And Madeline Miller was like, yeah, I guess that's kind of true. She's also like, but I don't want people to just see it as romantic loves. She's like, I want you to see that she loved her brother, and that was, you know, part of her story. She loved Glaucus, and that was part of her story. She loved Odysseus, she loved Daedalus, she loved Penelope at the end. It was a big one that Madeline Miller wanted to make a point of. She's like, I wanted to make a point that Penelope is like the first real friend she's had, and like the only real friend she's had, and that's meaningful. She's like, it's not just a story of romantic love, it's a story of friendship. And I thought that was really cool. Overall, I just thought that this was a really interesting book, and that a lot of human elements were explored that I really, really liked. Honestly, I could talk about this forever, and I probably shouldn't. I talked a little bit about, and she actually read a passage about this, was the way the magic system, it's not really a magic system, but, you know, the way like witchcraft was in the story, how it was work and it was effort and it was hard and it took all this, you know, preparation and stuff. And I thought that was really cool, because when do we ever get, you know, stories where witchcraft is like more of a science than a magic system, I guess. And I thought that was really cool. I loved the Minotaur part in this. I loved Daedalus. Daedalus is my favorite character, and like, wow, I keep talking about him to my mom, and my mom's like, I don't care. Like, I don't know who that is. But like, wow, I loved him. Anyway, I don't think I have very much else to say about it. I really liked this book. I really hope that she comes out with another book. I mean, it might take her like 10 years, but I really hope that she comes out with another book. My mom was kind of angry that no one asked her if she was coming out with another one, because my mom came with me to the reading. I'm like, don't ask an author that. That's stressful. I know. But anyway, that is Circe by Madeline Miller. I gave this book, I believe, 5 stars. I'm pretty sure. And I absolutely loved it. So thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and keep an eye out for future videos from hopefully both me and Colleen, separately or together. Okay, bye.